All right, all Which Bookie followers, and welcome back to another Ante-Post selection video. It's been a few weeks since obviously you saw me last with the Cheltenham videos, and fingers crossed you had a decent enough Cheltenham week. It was a mixed week for me, ended up being even Stevens, and unfortunately the last couple of weeks have maybe been a little bit drier, but it's been difficult to acclimatise to the midweek racing again after the highs of Cheltenham. But moving forward to the Aintree Grand National, which is the big one in a week's time, around 10 days' time at this stage. Obviously, I'll be covering all 3 days of the Aintree action through the graded action, but I've got two Ante-Post selections for the National itself that I really like the look of. Two Irish trained horses, trained by two trainers that maybe aren't best known for their exploits over in England, but I think these two horses have a very good chance off the exact same mark of 148. Starting off with maybe the more likely of the two, and it's the newly JP McManus owned Enjoy Dallon for Kieran Murphy. This horse is a really nice horse, and he's been quietly progressive over the last 18 months since joining the Kieran Murphy team. He was originally trained by Peter Fahey, and over fences he was getting a bit of a reputation for coming second an awful lot of the time, didn't maybe want to go through with it. But since joining Kieran Murphy, he picked up a nice pot last year, and then he was third in the Irish Grand National behind Freewheeling Dillon, who was a bit of a freak winner of the race, and Run Wild Fred, who off 140 proved to be a very well handicapped horse. He was in front of the ill-fated latest exhibition that day as well, alongside a few other very good horses. So that was a very good run, and he was third in the Paddy Power Chase this year behind Schoolboy Hours and Ben Dundee, which again was a very solid run. He was fifth in a handicap hurdle at the Dublin Racing Festival behind Good Time Johnny, which was a run that I suspect far superseded expectations on that occasion. And off a mark of 148, which is only a couple of pounds up on his Irish rating, I think he's got a great chance in this race. He's currently 12 to 1 each way with Bet365, who are paying out six places and also have that non-winner no bet concession at the moment. So it's a bit of a bet to nothing if he unfortunately something happens in the next couple of weeks. But the plan is to run, and the plan hopefully is for him to run very well. And alongside any second now, he boasts a very good hold for the owner JP McManus in this race. The other horse ran in the race last year, so at least you know he's got course form, and he jumped superbly last year, almost too good for his own good. And it's Discarama for Paul Nolan, Andrew Gemmell, and Thomas Fryle, who both own this horse. I think this horse has been well overlooked in the market, off a mark of 148, which is a pound lower than he was last year when finishing seventh. He didn't have a prep run going into the race last year, and it kind of showed because he was too free throughout the race, because he's actually a hold-up horse, and he was held up by Brian Cooper over the first couple of fences. And the fact that he was so fresh and he jumped so well that he actually ended up pulling himself into the front rank early doors, which is far too early for a horse like him. He ended up fading out of it at the back of the Melling Road when he was well in contention turning in at that stage. And as I say, ended up coming seventh and beaten 40 lengths in the end. That being said, though, that was a run full of promise, and he's gotten that prep run into him this year when finishing second behind Full Time, scoring a 3 mile handicap chase around Fairyhouse, which was a very good run, I thought. Previous to that, he was fifth in a handicap hurdle before Christmas, so I think he's had the ideal preparation for this race. He's been a little bit difficult to train, and his wind has sometimes been at him, but they seem to have him in a decent place at the moment, and I think they're happy enough with him going into this race, and they're much more happier that they got the prep run into him this year round rather than last time. Paul Nolan's come out a couple of times in interviews and said as much. He's currently 33 to 1 with William Hill, who are only paying out 5 places, but also are giving non-winner no bet, and I think that's a very worthy bet to maybe take on at this stage. You currently can get 6 places with Bet365, but only 25 to 1. I'm going for the 8 points bigger, and hopefully he can be in that first five. I think if he settles that bit better and jumps with the same amount of gusto, he could have a very good chance. I would certainly recommend backing him each way, as he sometimes has a bit of an inkling to finish second or third. But hopefully between Enjoy Dallon at 12 to 1 and Discarama at 33 to 1, we've two live darts for the Grand National next week. I'll see you guys this weekend for the Scottish Grand National, and obviously a bit of racing in Ireland. And looking forward to Aintree, Fairyhouse and Punchestown. Should be a brilliant finish to the national season, and let's hope we'll find some winners starting here.